Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Catching Sunshine podcast. Today, I am so excited because Tracy Hoth is in the house. So excited to have Tracy here. She is a professional organizer. You guys are going to love what she has to tell us today. And plus, she's just beautiful and fun and makes you feel good about wanting to get organized. So Tracy, I'm going to read your official bio and then just kind of turn it over to you, toss the ball to
Okay.
you and let you talk to us for a while, give us some good insights. Okay, so Tracy's a certified life and organizing coach, and she's on a mission to help women simplify their homes, their businesses, and their lives. As the creator of Organized Life and Organized Coach Academy, she hosts the top. You're in the top 1% globally with your Organized
Woo!
Coach podcast. I know, amazing. Tracy equips women to declutter with confidence and create systems that last and step into the role of organized life CEO. Yes. And I
Yeah.
am in I've coached with Tracy and I am also in her Organized Coach Academy, which is fantastic. So, Tracy, I'm tossing the ball over to you and I'm curious first of all, like can you just explain to us like how you got started? Because I think you used to go into people's homes and actually organize that way.
Yes. Carolyn, thanks for having me. I'm so honored to be on your podcast. I remember when you started it. So exciting. Okay. So yes, spent many years going in people's homes and offices and in some businesses and helping them get organized. I started that in 2008. In 2017, I found life coaching and learned so much about the mindset and the science behind it and all of that. So then I started combining the two. And at first, I thought, oh, people can't get organized without someone there helping them. And then I tried it and I worked with people online and it was amazing. It was so fun seeing how when we worked on their identity and what they thought about themselves, what they thought about their home and organization, and we found those things that kept them stuck, it it just changed everything. And they were able to do it all on their own. And it is so exciting. And it's such fun work to be in to help someone organize their life. And then as I was doing that, I started like having an online business. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't find anything. How do you keep track of this? And so I put my steps into place in my business and figured out really simple ways to keep track of everything and find things when I needed it. And then I started helping online business owners do the same thing. So I have two branches of my business where I help business owners and I help homeowners.
Nice. I love it. And so much of that probably overlaps too, because I'm a homeowner and a business owner, and
Yeah.
it's great for just both all the way around. Yeah, what I love about you is you bring that mindset piece in a lot because that's so important, so important. And also you simplify things. You make when I listen to you, it makes me feel like, oh, I'm not that disorganized. I'm normal. Like you make me feel normal. Or maybe that's just because we're all kind of disorganized. I don't know. But you make it very relatable and simplify it into processes that just make it seem so much easier. Like this is doable. I can do this.
Yes. Well, the definition, if we started with, well, what do we even think organized means? Because I think a lot of people have this vision of what it means and everything has to be in clear containers and color coded. It doesn't. An organization means that you know what you have and you can find it when you need it. And that's it. And if you know what you have and you can find it, you can live your life without thinking all the time that you need to get organized because you can find what you need. So I would call it, I'm not anally organized. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to organized. I am just like down to earth. I want to be able to find things and I don't want to spend a lot of time managing all the stuff. I just want to be able to know what I have and find it when I need it.
Yeah. It saves so much time when you know where something is to find and I've got some work to do on that, but I did a lot when I was in your coaching academy because you teach simple ways like your documents. I'm like, oh, when I started my business, I was just trying to do the work and do the marketing, and I have to organize the stuff in the back end too. What? Nobody told me about that.
Nobody tells you about that, and nobody teaches you how to do it. And that is another cool thing is once you learn the 5 steps that I teach to get organized, you could learn it in your business and it overflows into the rest of your life, or you can learn it in your home and it overflows into the rest of your business in your life or wherever. And you're able to teach that and have that confidence that no matter if a room is messy as can be, or no matter if your computer is super messy, you know the steps to organizing and you can do it. I mean, because you have the steps, you just follow the steps.
So when you say the 5 step, are you talking about your space, SPACE?
Yes, yes. So, you want me
Can
to
you
tell
say it again?
everybody what those
Yeah,
are?
yeah.
So it spells the word space, and the first one is to sort. I never start by making decisions when you're organizing because then you stop. I go into my closet and I look at a shirt and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. Should I keep it? And then I just leave because I can't make a decision. So, first step is to always sort. You take things out and you put like items with like items. And this step you do as fast as you can. The other part of that is like thinking of a closet, you could just take out one category of things, go around your house, get that category, bring it all in one spot, and then follow the rest of the steps. So you don't have to empty everything out, but you sort first. And then once you have things in categories, you go through each pile or each category separate, and then you purge. So the P is purge. And I like to pick my favorites first, pick what you use all the time, and then look at the rest of the things and ask questions like, have I used this? Is it current? Can I find it elsewhere? All those types of questions. And then the A is assign homes. Now you know only the things you're keeping and you're going to assign a home to it. And this part could be a little like a puzzle. You're figuring out where things use, think about how often you get to it, and can you put it in a zone where other like items live? Like you have a reading zone, or you have a baking zone, or on your computer, you have the place where you keep marketing stuff or whatever it is. And then so S, sort, purge, assign homes, and contain. The fourth step is to contain. And this is what people always want to start with. They always want to start by going and getting new containers at Target or getting a new planner or buying some new software that they think is going to help them. No, you don't do that till you get to step 4. And then you know where things are going to live, you know what you're keeping, and you can find the right container. I always say shop your house, use what you have first, make sure it's right. And then if you want to go splurge or make it prettier or get a new software program, now you're organized. And then the final step, the E, is energize. When you've decluttered and organized, it creates this extra energy. You have energy to spend on things you want to do, things you love, other areas, rest, a new project or hobby. But you need to maintain that energy. You need to maintain your organization. So, this is like the habit step where you're maintaining. So, tie it to something you already do. And I always use the example like I go to the grocery store once or twice a week or once every other week. And when I come home, before I put the groceries away, I try to wipe out the fridge and tidy up the pantry so that when I put things away, it maintains that space. And then my energy doesn't have to be used to work on that space as a big, huge project, but now it can be maintained.
Wow, that's so good. And I'm thinking of having frozen foods in your grocery bags. And so it would make you hustle and just clean it quickly too.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're not going to get distracted. You're like, I gotta get the stuff in the freezer. So I'm going to hurry and clean it. That's brilliant. Like so simple.
So simple. Yes. Easy to remember. You think about it. And I want to tell you this story, tell listeners this story. When I was helping a lady do her garage, we were standing in front of the garage and it was just like filled to the brim in a big wall. We were outside with the doors open. And I was so overwhelmed. I looked at that and I thought, how in the world are her and I going to do this? And I felt overwhelmed because I was thinking that thought. Then I mean, she's paying me. This was back when I did it in person and she's paying me. So I'm like, okay, I got to think something else. Like what? And I go, Tracy, the first step to organize it is to sort. So pick something up and put it in a pile. And I picked something up, put it in a paint. It was a paint supply. I picked something up. It was like a garden tool. I put it in garden tools. And she started doing what I did, and we got the whole thing sorted. And then once you get that done, it just gets the flow going. So if you're overwhelmed, remember, it's because you're thinking, there's so much. I don't know that I can't do this. I don't have time. Nope. The first step to organizing is to sort.
Ooh, so good, so good. So that leads right into like the thinking. What are you thinking about it? Like what is um how do you claim your identity as an organized person? How do you teach people how
Oh,
to do that? How to step into that? Oh, I really am organized. Watch me.
yes. Okay. I like to ask first. So you can ask yourself this: why am I not already organized? Why do I not have that space already organized or my computer already organized? And then notice what comes up. Well, I don't have time. I have too much stuff. Laundry is my nemesis. Whatever the thoughts that come into your brain, those are the things you're going to explore and look at. And now you know that's what you're identifying as someone who hates laundry or someone who always has had a messy room and their parents always told them that they were a mess. So you notice that stuff, someone that believes they never have enough time for things. And then you can make a change. But until you know that, until you can see like what's coming up and that's keeping me, that's identifying me as a non-organized person, then that's why I like doing the two together, because then you can build evidence to prove that you're organized. One easy evidence that you can start with is the steps to get organized. And I call it my secret room. It's like my attic space that the kids used to have a play area in. It was off one of the kids' bedrooms, so we call it our secret room. In that space, we throw stuff in there because we don't make a decision. Delayed decisions create clutter. So it's full of clutter. And I know it's full of clutter. That's where we designate clutter to go. So it's not in our line of vision. But that doesn't mean I'm not organized. I know that that's full of things that we haven't made decisions on, or they're in a holding pattern because our kids are all in transition stages. But I know that I can go in there and I know I'm an organized person because I have the organizing steps and I can go in there and follow the steps. And so, first piece of evidence, the steps.
Yeah, that totally takes away it's overwhelming. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get started. Yeah,
Yes.
that totally you can't even use that excuse anymore because you're like, I
Right.
have the steps. I do
Yeah.
have the steps.
And
Yeah,
then, oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, if you think about how you would teach someone, let's say your kid's there or your friend needs help organizing their space. Now that you know the steps, imagine yourself going over there and teaching them the steps and how to organize, and you're going to help them. So act like that. I bet if you were, someone said this once, and I thought this was so funny. If someone was going to chop your kid's arm off, could you help someone get organized? Now that's a little extreme.
Yes.
But you could, right? You would know how because you know the steps and you could actually help them sort and pull things into categories. And then you could walk them through a decision. Do you use this? Do you like this? I mean, it is inside of you already. We just have to get the evidence to come out. And we can use other areas. There was a woman who her house was never organized, but she planned vacations to a T. Every detail was planned. In her past job, everything was organized. And I was like, "Oh, interesting." But her house wasn't. And she realized it's because her mom had said that she was had a messy room all of her life. So she felt she wasn't worthy to have a house that was organized, even though everything else was in her life. And so once she realized that, she could start questioning that. And she's almost finished. She's in the process of decluttering and organizing every part of her home. And it all came because she questioned a thought and an identity that she's had since childhood. Like it's so fun. And then she's just following the steps.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I love listening to you talk because you do in the physical, well, and you do the psychological too, because
Oh,
you're talking about the
yes.
mindset. But it's what I do in my energy healing work. It's like, what is the thought? Like, where did that thought come from? Let's reframe that, and it changes the way people approach the world or their clutter.
Yes.
I want to go
Yeah.
back to just because I wanted people to get this. I've heard you say, and I'm going to say it the way I've heard you say it before. You said it again today, but kind of inverse or flip-flopped, which is has the same meaning, but it's so good. Clutter is just delayed decision. So
Yes.
clutter is just delayed decision. That's the hardest part for me when I'm cleaning stuff up. It's the I get in decision fatigue because I'm like, well,
Mm.
I don't know. I've gotten way better over the, I don't think I'm a cluttery person because it drives me nuts. But
Mhm.
um, there are some things like I have a dresser right here that has a bunch of books and notebooks and stuff for work, and it's like I have to figure out we're going to move in a few months down the road, and do I just throw all that out? Do I not? What is that like one of the main thing? Is it the emotional stuff behind? Why do people hang on to stuff? Why is it so hard to make the decision?
Okay, this is great. One of the things, so we have a decision-making process, and we all have this process where we look at an item and we might go through all sorts of different things before we decide what we're going to do with it, or
Mm,
we might not decide. So, in order to shorten that decision-making process, one of the things, the first thing to do is to look at your future. Like when you get in a car, you don't just get in there and start driving around. You usually have a place you're going to, and there's a few different ways to get there, but you know where you're going. Same with our stuff. We need to know where we're going. So when you imagine yourself moving and you're in this new location, and you can, I mean, I even imagine like, oh, what if I had one favorite pen? I never had to dig through 25 pens, most of which I don't like, to get to my favorite pen. What if I just had one pen and I always used the same type of notebook? I want to feel that, I don't know, that up leveling, the eliteness, richness, I don't know what it's called, whatever you want to call it, but you could imagine yourself there. Now, when you make decisions about should I keep these 14 scrappy notebooks that I got out of the, my kids' leftover school supplies, should I keep those or not? No, I could donate them, let someone else use them right now, and decide in that future place in a year from now, I'm only going to use this type of notebook. And it helps you make your decisions because you know where you're going. So think about, where am I going? What do I want it to feel like when I walk into my office? What am I actually going to be doing? And some people can think like, what are my hobbies? Maybe I did a lot of different hobbies, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, but really looking forward now, I want to do these three things and concentrate on these three things. And then when I'm looking at something particular, I can be like, oh, that doesn't fit. It's like a flow chart. It doesn't fit into the category, so it goes away.
I love that. I could talk to you forever because I have like five more questions in my
Oh,
head. I
yeah.
won't keep you here that long. I do want to say, I used to have, speaking of notebooks, and I still do in a sense, but I'm changing my ways because of you, because you taught me one place, like one clipboard, all the thoughts in your brain, because I used to in my office before this one, I had a lot of like notes to myself all over, and I'm at the dining room table. Oh, I get an idea. So I just write it on a napkin or whatever's there. And so then I'd have a pile on my desk. And my daughter walked in. I mean, she's grown up, but she walked in my office. This was about, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. And she goes, "Oh, Mom, this looks like a beautiful mind." You know that the movie with his
Yes,
oh,
yes.
beautiful mind. And my brain registered as that as, oh, well, he was brilliant. So the disorderly papers with notes all over everywhere, that somewhere I figured this out later. I'm like, somewhere I got the notion that, oh, so I'm a brilliant person because I have all these different notes with everything all over it. And then, like once a month or so, I would like gather them all up and streamline them all. And it was fun because I could check off a lot of things that note's been lost for a long time. But hey, I did that thing already. Check them off and then streamline them into one place. And then I started working with you, and you told me one plate, like nothing goes anywhere else, just that one spot. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yes, that's the concept of the wonderful one. So, anytime you can, this is going to help reduce decision fatigue for your brain. Anytime you can reduce decisions, then you should do it because that uses the power of having one place. So, I always think one place for ideas. If you can put them, and you had a process. I noticed as you were saying that you wrote them all over, but you processed them maybe once a month. And probably as long as you have one place to put them, so that when you think, where did I put that idea? Your brain is like, oh, there's one place for ideas. So I use an idea dashboard. It's a Google sheet that I've created for different categories of ideas. But I teach that when you're going to organize your digital files. Where is the one place, the one hub that you're going to locate things? There's people that wear uniforms because they are easier. Your brain doesn't have to make a decision. So you have one t-shirt that you wear, or, whatever. One belt, one pair of boots. Now, I always say as much as possible, and you can have exceptions if you're a shoe lover or, different things. But if you can have one place you keep pens on the main level of your home, your whole family knows now, oh, that's where the pens go. You don't always look for pens, you know where they go. And so that just helps with decision fatigue.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Can I ask you one more thing?
Oh, yeah. I'll stay here all day.
Okay, sure. You have nothing more to do. I know that's not true. Just if you could briefly touch on, because I'm feeling inspired that I need to ask this for my listeners.
Mm.
Mm, touch on like the emotions behind like when people are decluttering and holding on to things. And I know Marie Kondo says take a photo, take a picture of it, and then you still get to keep it. It's in your phone, which you'll never look at probably. You've said some cool things about the emotion behind that, and it's holding on to pain. It's an anchor to the pain. um anyway, speak on that for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's lots of emotions because we have thoughts about all the different things in our life. And so sometimes it's mourning something that was. Maybe it's a stage in your life that's passed, or it's caused from a death or something traumatic that's happened to you. There's all those emotions. So when you see something and you're wanting to get rid of it, the emotion comes up like that was so special in my life, or that was really hard. And so you're holding on to that memory of it. And to remember that the memory is in our mind, it's not in the item. And so processing through some of those emotions is really helpful. I think there's another part of it that comes when you're thinking as you're decluttering, why did I let it get this bad? What's wrong with me? There's something wrong. I'm a mess. And all of those thoughts cause a lot of shame and maybe regret that we are at the place we're at, or why we can't get a handle on this. And so we have a lot of self-criticism about what's happening. So there's so many different emotions that come up because we have these thoughts about our past, our future, what's going on, our decisions that we didn't make in the past. So I think it's really important to realize that and to have the support that you need when you're allowing or demanding, whatever it is that you're going through all of this stuff in your life, or trying to create systems, and your brain maybe just doesn't work that way. And so you're frustrated because you can't figure it out. But just have the support there to go through the emotions, to process them, And really be kind to yourself as you do this because lots of stuff can come up and we have to give ourselves the space to be able to work through those emotions.
Thank you so much for being here with us. You like that is just like a ton of golden nuggets all at once that people might have to listen to you a few times, listen to this a few more times, or go over to Tracy's 1% in the top 1% podcast and listen
Yeah.
to the Organized Coach podcast is the name of it.
Yeah.
I always end with a quirky question. If organization, like if being organized, that process of getting organized had a mascot,
Oh.
what would that I know it's so weird. I told you it was quirky. Like in your head, like what's the first thing that pops into your head?
Well, so the first thing that pops into my head is like a chicken in the barnyard pecking at one piece of grain at a time. So I don't know is that what that means, but that's what comes to my mind. And that kind of ties into they do that at a specific time. So they've planned it. So I always think when people are like, where should I start organizing? That they think of it like a project and break it down and think there's a start and an end time. So I'm picturing those chickens out there. They get let out of their coop at a certain time. They go systematically through the steps and then they go back to their coop or they, go sit on their nest or what or their eggs or whatever they do. So maybe that does make sense.
That makes total sense. That was awesome. I was thinking of like Tony the Tiger cheerleading people on or something, but I'm like, no, that was so good. Yeah,
Ooh,
an organized time. You break it down. I'm going to have that visual in my head now.
I know. That's so fun. I love visuals and imagining how they tie in. So this that's such a fun question.
Thank you so much. All of Tracy's info is in the show notes, like how people can get a hold of you. I know you have tons of awesome freebies.
Yeah, I have one that's called the 15-minute declutter challenge. I just started this a couple months ago and people are loving it and they're sending me before and after pictures and they're getting unstuck. Even people in my program are so motivated by it and they're sending pictures to each other and inspiring all of us. So that's at simplysquaredaway.com/declutter.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and I forgot I hadn't even said your website. Simply Squared Away. I like the simply. We have that in
Yes.
common in our website names. So yeah, and the 15-minute challenge link will be right here in the show notes also. So thank you, Tracy, so much.
Perfect.
So full of wisdom. That was fun.
Thanks, Carolyn, for having me.